Hello guys, it's me, Nexus. You guys may remember this story from the end of last year, but after watching it again, I realized that my narration isn't as good as it currently is. Because of this, and a recent event, I thought that I might as well rewrite it and make another video. If you have any paranormal encounters or scary stories in general, share them in the comment section and I may read them in a future video. Anyways, this is my personal horror story, the Simulacrum. It began a little over a year ago, I believe on December 21st of 2017. I was awoken by my little brother, who I'm going to call Carson for privacy, begging me to come down from my two-foot bunk bed and help him because his legs were hurting for reasons that, at the time, we didn't know. Before I go any further, know that outside my room is a short hallway connected to the garage and my restroom. This hallway connects to the kitchen, which connects to the living room and the dining room, and both connect to the long hallway where the rest of my family lives. Remember this layout as it will become important later on. Although there was a little bit of light coming from outside, there wasn't much, giving my room and the house a slightly unsettling atmosphere. I got out of bed to see what Carson's problem was and help him. He was sitting on the two-foot on the bottom bunk, facing my closet. When I got on the ladder, he turned around to see me, and the light drained from his face. "Run!" Carson yelled, making a beeline out of my room. I didn't know what he was so afraid of, but I listened, following behind him. We ran to his room, and after shutting the door, I asked him what the problem was and why he seemed so scared. After a minute of heavy breathing, he pulled himself together and explained to me that when he turned around, he saw a black figure about my size, crawling on my two-foot. That's when I remembered that my little sister, let's call her Abby, was sleeping in the living room. I ran to her and she was still sleeping. Fortunately, whatever was in my room hadn't gotten to her. Before I could even wake her up, I heard something. The tapping of bare feet against tile flooring. And it was coming from my hallway. Both of our cats were in the living room, and I was pretty sure that her parents were asleep. I woke my sister and ran her to my little brother's room. Once they were shut in, I went into my parents' room, and both were in bed. I woke my dad up, telling him that some kid had broken into our house. He didn't believe me though, and told me to let him go back to sleep. Looking back, I can't really blame him, because this is not the first time I've told him something like this, only for us to later find out that I was just being paranoid. I left, going into Carson's room until my parents woke up. The day went on casually after that. The second time that I saw this entity, it was June 2nd of 2018. I had just gotten to my dad's house to stay for summer vacation. While unpacking my stuff, in my peripheral vision, I saw something power walking down the hallway. Because of how quickly it passed, though, I could barely make out any of its features. The only thing I could remember seeing were pale, white hands, thanks to the light of the kitchen. The hallway light was off. The proximity of the hands from the ground suggested that they were about my height. That's not right, I thought. I turned the hallway light on and checked everything. The restroom light was off, the door was open, and nobody was in there. And the garage door would always make a very loud creaking sound when opened. There was no way around this. Starting to get creeped out, I went into the living room and saw Abby on her iPad. I asked her where Carson and her parents were, and she told me that they were all in their rooms. I checked, and she was right. Everybody was where they usually were, and nobody was in that hallway.